Ifa Karede with the Voodoo Institute, and today I'm going to be doing a reading on Henrietta Lacks. Whether you have heard of her or not, you would want to stay tuned for this reading. I'm going to start off with getting a feel of what her personality was like. So I'm going to ask my Egungun, great and mighty Egungun, what was Henrietta Lacks' personality like? Oop. Egungun, what was Henrietta Lacks' personality like? All right. So I got the card for the trickster, got the card for the miser, and also the card for the hermit. All right, so off the bat, I see that she was somebody that was actually very lighthearted. With the trickster energy, I mean, normally we would look at tricksters as people that we can't trust. And of course, you know, at times that is the case. However, with her, I'm not getting that vibe from her. I feel like her personality, she was just very playful, very lighthearted. She loved to laugh. I'm getting the feeling for. With the miser, I feel like she actually wore probably even many different masks, or people kind of didn't know how to necessarily to perceive her or necessarily like how to take her, but she liked it that way. She actually preferred it that way, because with the hermit coming out, that's letting us know that she was very private, and she really didn't let like a lot of people get close to her with the hermit card. And even reading from the card with the light attribute, with the light attributes, transcending convention, stiffiness and predictable behavior. That would be the light attribute of the trickster, but of course the shadow attribute would be manipulating others through duplicity. But like I said, I'm not getting that vibe from her at all. With the trickster energy, I actually feel like she was actually very playful and very lighthearted. However, at times, even with the miser / the Midas, I feel like she could be kind of selfish a little bit at times, just selfish with her energy, probably depending on some different events that occurred in her childhood, which probably made her, you know, kind of be a little bit stingy, be a little bit not so giving, or or not so free with her energy and her time with people. I don't necessarily get the fact that she was just necessarily stingy with her money, but just with her time and in her energy and who she chose to entertain. And I feel like it could have possibly been due to some things in her childhood, because the trickster energy is usually a very youthful energy. And what makes it youthful is the fact that tricksters or people that joke around a lot, they can usually they're hiding. Usually they're hiding some type of hurt and things like that. Like they laugh to keep from crying, if you've ever heard that phrase before, which I'm sure you guys have. But I'm getting that vibe from her. Like, it's not like she was a deceptive person, but she just had a hard time letting people in. She appeared to be very cold to people, or almost like, you know, she couldn't be trusted. But like I said, she had her reasons as to why she was that way. I'm getting the feeling from, especially even with this hermit, with this hermit card, she just preferred to be alone. I don't know if she grew up with a whole lot of people around her, or if she grew up in a big family or a big household, but if that is the case, though, she's just always been like a loner, or maybe she's always been perceived as a loner. She never maybe had many friends that got along with people that well. Or maybe, you know, she's also had like a lot of deceptive people in her environment as well, which is why, you know, she's this Midas or this miser, trickster / energy, which is what her personality was like. I got the card for the artist, so she was very creative. I feel like maybe she could sing, or maybe she could draw, or she was just into the arts. Maybe she used her artistry, you know, to kind of escape from what did I just mention earlier? Yeah, she most certainly had some I feel like different childhood traumas, even though this personality card is saying child eternal, I feel like there was just like she almost wasn't able to be a child like maybe she wanted to. I'm going to do a reading with my playing cards to see what her childhood was like. But as far as the personality, like I even mentioned earlier with the trickster card, very childlike, very playful. She did in fact love to laugh. However, she also had this other side to her as well with people that she maybe wasn't comfortable opening up to, or people that she wasn't too sure about. But she loved to draw. I'm getting the feeling of, I feel like maybe she even had a beautiful singing voice, especially with the artist and the child coming out. This is giving me like a lot of Taurus energy, or not even maybe it's just necessarily just Taurus, but just Venus energy. So like, I feel like she maybe had a beautiful singing voice. And even if she didn't have a beautiful singing voice, she enjoyed like listening to just, you know, beautiful music of that time. And then the mother. She was a mother. I feel like she also became a mother at a young age with the child and the mother coming out. I feel like this is also talking about her having to grow up really fast. But this is also, I feel like, even talking about her relationship, maybe even with her mother. Maybe she didn't have a strong relationship with her mother. This is a personality reading that I'm doing on her though, but I'm also picking up other messages from these cards and that the way that they fell out, that she possibly didn't have a good relationship with her mother, which is why at times with this Miser energy, you know, she did, you know, appear cold, or like she was, or not even cold, but just a fear of just not, having enough, like having enough stability, you know, or having, or maybe even a fear at times of being alone, even though she liked to be alone, but she still had a fear of being alone, if that makes sense. Like solitude, you know, she enjoyed her alone time. However, she didn't get a lot of time alone, because she really didn't know maybe what that felt like. I feel like she could have, grew up in a really big family, which contributed to how her personality, you know, was perceived, you know, with other people. So now, just to see what her childhood is like, I'm going to pull out my playing cards and ask what her childhood was like. Great Egungun, what was Henrietta Lacks' childhood like? What was her childhood like, Egungun? The Joker, a lot of deception, Jack of Spades. She had a very tumultuous childhood, even like with this Joker coming out, and then even with this Jack of Spades. I feel like she probably could have gotten abused a lot, because the Jack of Spades is the is the card for like a bad child, you know, or an unruly child. But with the Ace of Diamonds falling out in the middle, she really wasn't a bad child though. Like, I don't get the vibe, like with the way that these cards fell out, she most certainly wasn't a bad child, but I feel like she was treated that way. I feel like she grew up in a very impatient household, because with the Joker, once again, this is even talking about the trickster card that came out earlier in her personality reading. The Joker is talking about her having a very light and playful energy to like kind of escape, or to kind of mask, because the Jack of Spades is also talking about once again like an artist, you know, or a thespian, you know, of sorts and things like that. And so she did actually grow up in a very tumultuous environment, but her way of escaping that, her Ace of Diamonds, like her way of escaping that, you know, was through playing like different characters and like wearing many different faces. I feel like she probably maybe even with that artist card coming out earlier, and then with the Jack of Spades, and then the Joker falling out altogether, I actually feel like that she could have possibly wanted to be an actress as a child as well, or she used television, television as like a way to escape from her childhood. With the Five of Hearts, the Seven of Hearts, and even the Three of Clubs falling out, yeah, she had a lot of brokenheartedness within her childhood. The Five of Hearts is talking about her being in fear a lot, you know, and then once again with that miser coming out earlier with the personality card, she had just like a lot of fear surrounding her childhood. I'm not sure whether or not she was sexually abused or not, because my Three of Hearts did not fall out. However, with this Five of Hearts combo, this Seven of Hearts, and this Three of Clubs, I'm feeling like that there was some abuse that went on in her household. I don't know that to be a fact though, but it just seemed like a very tumultuous and like very tense environment. Not an environment with like a lot of love or like a lot of trust, which is why even in her personality reading, those few cards came out the way that they did. And they kind of, but eventually she did grow. But the Three of Clubs it's talking about like eventually she was able to, even though she really didn't receive love in her childhood home the way that children need to receive it, like she wouldn't go on to be that same way though with the Three of Clubs though. Let's see. Yeah, the Six of Spades, King of Hearts, and then the Ace of Hearts in reverse. This is even talking about her relationship with her father. And then, wow, did y'all remember in the personality reading when the mother card came out and I was talking about how I feel like her mother was not present? I mean, off the bat, like the only feminine card that is here is the Seven of Hearts, and then even the Ace of Hearts, but that's also in reverse. So I feel like she didn't have a relationship with her mother for whatever reason, because this Six of Spades, this King of Hearts, and even this Ace of Hearts in reverse is also talking about a male figure in her life that wasn't very loving or protective to her as well. In fact, I feel like he was the one that actually caused the abuse that she had to endure, as well as he contributed to that fear. He was the main contribution to that fear and things like that she was feeling in her environment. Even with this Ace of Hearts in reverse, I feel like she could have actually had a miscarriage from this male figure in her life. Now, I do know that she did get pregnant at 14 by her cousin, they were like in a relationship, but I'm not sure if that's describing him though. The King of Hearts, it feels like an older male figure, like a fatherly type figure. Not saying that it could have been her father, but it could have been an older man in her family that I actually feel like that she probably ended up having a miscarriage by him. Yeah, because there's just like a lot of ancestral baggage here, just like a lot of ancestral debt and things like that in karma, especially with that Six of Spades energy coming out. But like I mentioned earlier, her ways to escape that though was just putting on many different faces, even kind of escaping it through like putting on some type of play, or maybe even like writing, or even like I said earlier with singing. Like she escaped this madness, you know, through artistic expression. So yeah, that's a brief look into her childhood. Now let's see, I want to know, did she die due to medical negligence by the doctors who treated her after they discovered how unique her cells were? So I'm going to ask the Egungun that question. Egungun, did Henrietta Lacks die due to medical negligence by the doctors who treated her after they discovered how unique her cells were? Did she die due to medical negligence? Well, with the Four of Spades, the King of Clubs, and the Seven of Diamonds, potentially, yes, medical negligence, but I don't think it was irreversible. At that time, for that time, it was just something, because I believe she died from cervical cancer. or some form of cervical cancer, because with the Four of Spades and the King of Clubs and the Seven of Diamonds, that's talking about them seeing something valuable in her, which were her cells. The fact that her cells, you know, like they multiplied extremely fast, and they were able to actually use those cells later on for certain, you know, vaccines and cures to like different diseases and things like that. And so with the Four of Spades, the King of Clubs, and the Seven of Diamonds, they actually went into her they actually went into treating her with the expectation of her really not being able to make it, because I feel like the success rate with that Seven of Diamonds coming out, the success rate of whatever medicine or whatever procedures they used for her, the success rate was very poor, especially with that Four of Spades and that Two of Spades coming out. So it was just something that was just supposed to, the way that she died, not necessarily medical negligence, but just, you know, not enough medical advancements, you know what I'm saying? So like they just didn't have what she needed in that time, because the success rate, I mean, with the Seven of Diamonds was very poor at that time anyway, with the condition that Henrietta had. The Two of Spades and the Ace of Spades and the Two of Clubs, this is talking about them not really being able to save her, but them also not trying as hard as they could have. And I know that kind of sounds a bit odd from what I said just a minute ago, but they didn't try as hard because they already knew that the success rate wasn't, you know, wasn't very high at that time or not. That's what I'm feeling like. Of course, y'all can fact check me and let me know what you find. But the Two of Spades and the Ace of Spades and the Two of Clubs, like this is just something that was just gonna happen anyway. The success rate is just very low for however they were going about treating her cervical cancer. However, with the Two of Clubs, though, they treated her for as long as they could with the intention of getting her cells, though. Because the Two of Clubs, now I do know that she did go to the doctor about, I think she had like, I think maybe 2 or 3 visits before she, oh, no, never mind. I do know that they scraped her cervix for her cells at least 2 times though, which this Two of Clubs is actually talking about. That actually, no, the Two of Spades, they both are talking about them taking the opportunity with the Two of Clubs, taking the opportunity to actually go ahead and do that, because they knew that she wasn't going to be here long. With the Ace of Spades, they knew it. They knew it. Yeah, they knew it. And so they didn't put as much effort into saving her as they could have. Like they were just more concerned with saving her cells, because the Ace of Hearts, the Two of Diamonds, and even the 10 of Hearts, I feel like she was probably pregnant at this time. I feel like she actually could have been pregnant at the time of her treatment, or she had maybe just lost a baby at the time of her treatment. And even then, yeah, I feel like she maybe could have lost the baby before the treatment, or she could have gotten pregnant some way during treatment, if that is possible. But with the Ace of Hearts and the Two of Diamonds and the 10 of Hearts, they were just more so committed to getting those cells. They were they were much more enthralled with the cells. But yeah, I feel like that she was pregnant before, like when she went in to get treatment, I feel like honestly that she was pregnant. And then that could have been when they discovered it, or when they discovered that she had the cervical cancer. With the way that the cards have fallen, let me know if this is making sense, if this is making sense or not in the comments. Yeah, let me know. But I do feel like that she was pregnant before she went into it, and that's how they were able to discover it. And then that's actually how they scraped her, how they were able to actually go, well, why they felt the need to go ahead and scrape her cervix. Like she didn't go into the doctor's office because of these pains. Like if she did have any pains, it was because she was pregnant. I feel like this is what this Ace of Hearts, this Two of Diamonds, and this 10 of Hearts is talking about. So to even answer the original question, did she die due to medical negligence? No, not necessarily. No, she didn't die due to medical negligence. If I had to put a yes or no on it, no, she didn't die due to medical negligence. She died due to lack of medical developments. Excuse me. So my next question is, Does she want to seek revenge on George Otto Gay? He was one of the head scientists at Johns Hopkins during that time, and he's the one that actually called for them to scrape her cervix. And so, or no, he's the one that actually, he's the one that found out that her cells multiplied so rapidly. He's the one that found that out, and they did that on, they did that operation on her illegally. And so I want to know, does she, like after death, like does she want to seek revenge, or did she seek revenge on him? So Egungun, then Henrietta Lack seek revenge on George Otto Gay, or as a matter of fact, any of the other doctors, for what they did to her and her family.
Fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the sky